I also was to talk to you about mirrors and how we are all mirrors to each other. This sometimes is really hard for people to grasp, and it's taken me a long time to really turn the knowledge of it into wisdom, because I've read and learned about the mirror aspect of people for a long time, but to be actually able to see it and accept it is sometimes the biggest challenge. One thing I'm noticing lately is how when sometimes we feel different around different people. Now, not in the sense that we have, in a way, a different relationship with the person, because we have different relationships with everybody. But I feel, and I've noticed that people's perception of someone else can affect how that other person acts and reacts. At least that happens in my own circumstances. And for a while I was trying to figure out, what is that? Why is it that sometimes when you're around certain people, the actions that happen, the things that you do, you look back and you say, that's not me. That's not who I am. Why did I say that? Why did that happen? Why, And I think that part of it is because possibly it's their creation. They're creating you to be a certain aspect, a certain mirror of themselves. And so if you are kind of in the not necessarily autopilot, but if you're not being completely strong in your own sense and character, then I believe that you can fall easily into those perceptions. Of course, people see what they want to see all the time, and they believe what they want to believe, whether it's something that is accurate or not, And but it all has to do with lessons. It all has to do with our perceptions, how we view the world, and which is all related to our experiences and what we've gone through in our lives, and what other people have told us. Because a lot of people on this earth, hopefully a lot of people waking up now, which is nice, but a lot of people just believe what other people tell them. Oh yeah, Columbus Day, let's celebrate that because he was awesome. Yeah, right. The true story behind that, and is worth noting. But it's just the mirror aspect, to realize that the way that other people are treating you is a mirror of yourself. There's some reason why someone is doing, saying, being a certain way to you. And I would say more times than not, it's to show you an aspect of yourself, an aspect of your thinking. For myself, for example, a most recent one, I felt like people are always judging me, and it's been that way throughout my life, and I think even lifetimes, because I have dreams of past lives, of being, different things, that I was different than the norm, and even this lifetime I've been so different than the norm, and I'm proud of that. I think it's really good and important to be different in a lot of ways. But before I really understood that, I was always thinking people were judging me for different things. And I realized recently, especially after becoming a parent, when you become a parent, you really, at least for myself, I really started judging myself a little bit more harshly, because you see this ideal of what is a parent. You gotta read a book to your kid every night and make sure that you always have family time, and all these miscellaneous things that you see, this picture perfect family or picture perfect parent, and so I judged myself really harshly, and so I would notice in other people, I would think and feel like they were judging the things that I would do by just a look of their face or something, and then I figured out that I was creating that. I was creating that to show myself that I was judging myself. And once I came to terms with that, once I realized, this person is being this way to me and making these comments and having these looks on their face because I'm creating that through my actions. I'm creating that through my intent of showing myself. And once I did that, it stopped, and the person turned around, and now they're really nice to me, and I didn't say anything to them. I didn't say, hey, I think you're judging me, please stop, or anything. It's just amazing, and sometimes when someone has an energy that's overpowering, because people have different energy levels. Some people have a very strong presence with them. You can really feel them when you're sitting next to them, or you can really feel them when they walk in a room. Other people are a little bit, I guess, more dim would make sense. Of course, everybody has the potential, I think, to be any energy level that they're able to have the same or similar vibration to. Anyway, but sometimes when you pair a person with a very strong presence or a very strong character with someone that has either a weaker character or a more sensitive character, as some of the empaths, of course I speak again from example, it can be more of a challenge to really step out of what that other person's perception of you is. I had a person that, I remember this person's name every time that I was not around this person. I knew this other person's name. Like, there was this one person I was around, and the other person, I knew their name all the time. But only the times that I was talking about that person, with this strong character person, I wouldn't be able to remember her name. And it was just amazing to me. I knew the person's name. But then when I was around this other person, it was a gentleman, and I think it was because what I ended up figuring out is that he had this perception of me not knowing her name and not remembering her name. And so that when I was around her, when I was around him, he put the perception out, whether it be subconsciously or a conscious thought or whatever. And what it did is it overpowered my own ability to be able to remember consciously what that person's name was. Because like I said, I had no problem anytime remembering the woman's name. It was a counselor that I had before, and it was just amazing, and I've noticed other things like that too. And I've had people tell me those kind of things too, like way back on parts of the beginning of my spiritual journey. They say, this is not how I am, this is not how I act, you are a part in creating this. And I was like, yeah, right, I'm not creating you treating me like crap. And and then I figure out later that it was all for a purpose, and it was like my perception of it. You create your perceptions, you create what you think about, you create how you feel somebody is. Even if that person isn't that way, you can look really far into seeing that person being that way, or you can create and make the triggers for that person to be the way that your perception is. Luckily, I believe many people are becoming stronger and being able to keep in their character. And, there are a lot of people that are able to stay in their character. I know myself, I'm able to stay more in my, and not character like you fake, but your own personal vibration, your own personal self. And, it really takes a lot of, at least for myself, it's taken a lot of lessons in it, a lot of figuring out, what is what, is this what I'm thinking? Is this what somebody else is thinking? Is this what somebody's projecting on me? Or is this something that is coming from my own perception? And I think because for a big sense, they say we're all one, we're all connected. And, I definitely am understanding that even more so now, because it's like we really are all drops of water that are in a great big sea, and great big ocean, and we're all the same, but we're all different. And that's the beauty of it. We're all connected, and that's why you have the collective unconscious, or collective subconscious, or the collective consciousness, probably all of the above. And I think it's so great to be able to finally see that, to finally realize a lot of these things, to finally come to the point in my life where I understand me more. I understand myself. I understand somewhat actions of the past that I've done, and in a way some things I didn't quite understand, but I guess it's human. It's just, I don't know, mirrors. We're all mirrors. And it's something I'm teaching my 4-year-old son as much as I can now, It's like the cause and effect thing too. What you put out, you get back. What you mirror out, what you project out with your mirror is what will bounce back at you. And I think that it's so important to remember that now. So even the people like, a lot of people don't like the politicians, and they don't like, all these bankers, and they're not doing right things. They're not making choices that are great. But if they're a mirror to ourselves, maybe if not in this lifetime, maybe in a different lifetime, we did things that weren't so great. Maybe it's showing us to ourselves, showing us where we have done, and maybe we're on the other side of the fence now. Maybe we were the ones doing those kind of things in the past, and maybe now they're showing us just how it feels to be on the receiving end of that. And so that's all I have about that. Is anytime anybody has any questions, feel free to drop me a line, and I love answering questions from people, and I always answer them the best that I can. And thank you, and have a great day.